Creole Queen, one of the many riverboats here, docked alongside in New Orleans. Ray Crawford here with Doug Chapman as our coverage of the Sugar Bowl continues here on CampusInsiders.com. A little cool, but clear here today.
A little brisk.
Fortunately, this game is going to be played inside,
Absolutely.
so the weather will not be a factor, of course. The team's now on lockdown. Both coaches spoke for the final time on Wednesday, and Urban Meyer, Ohio State's head coach, was asked about Braxton Miller, the injured quarterback, and whether or not he'll return next year and be on the Buckeyes roster.
Yes, I've had conversations, and someone hit me with that today, and I don't expect that. There's a lot of things that go on out there that is out of his control as well. So we've had conversations, and I expect him to be back at Ohio State.
So, Doug, obviously Urban Meyer confident that he'll be with the team next year. Do you think he'll be a Buckeye in 2015?
Well, good news if you're Urban Meyer. You got three, not just good quarterbacks, but possibly great quarterbacks. We know what Braxton Miller brings to the table. We saw what J.T. Barrett did, and we saw what Cardale Jones did in the Big Ten championship game. Bad news if you're a quarterback. Only one of you guys can play at a time. So in the spring, it's going to be J.T. Barrett and Braxton Miller's job to find the number one guy. Whoever loses that is going to be number two. Cardale Jones, to me, is the guy on the outside looking in. So no matter what he does, great Big Ten championship game. No matter what he does here in New Orleans, if they get to Dallas, no matter what he does, he's going to be the guy fighting for a backup spot, possibly third string. He may be the guy transferring. So if you're in Columbus, don't worry about Braxton Miller. Worry about losing Cardale Jones.
In the old age of college football, this would really be the game of the season that would determine the national championship, but not so. This is just a semifinal, one more game. Nick Saban addressed why his team is focused on this week and not looking too far ahead.
This is the only game that matters. We played 13 games, and since the Ole Miss game, we've sort of been in a playoff of our own. I use the term be where your feet are. Everybody needs to be focused on what they need to do for this game. We've prepared for this game like it is, the only game that matters.
So Urban Meyer and Nick Saban both very businesslike on Wednesday, but Doug, as we covered Media Day on Tuesday, you noticed a different demeanor between the two teams.
I couldn't believe, actually, how relaxed and laid back Ohio State's football team were. We're on the field doing interviews with players, and the majority of the guys on the sideline, they're horsing around, having fun. They're having a great time, but don't mistake that for not being serious. These guys, look at the season they've had. You start off with Braxton Miller, your Heisman candidate goes down. J.T. Barrett, a freshman. You don't know what he's going to bring to the table. He comes in, Navy game looks okay. Virginia Tech game, they lose. All of a sudden you think you're out of the college football playoff. Not so much. He plays his butt off, plays great down the stretch. He gets hurt. Cardale Jones steps in. Don't know what you're going to get. Looks fantastic in the Big Ten championship game. So this is a team that's been through adversity, and they've come out on the other end of it. They're here. They're having fun. They're enjoying themselves. On the flip side, Alabama, be where your feet are.
Yeah.
Nick Saban's been here before. These guys lost this game last year. It's not just about Ohio State. It's about the Sugar Bowl. They lost in New Orleans. They don't want to lose in New Orleans 2 years in a row. Yes, it's a college football playoff, but it's bigger than that. They're a little more serious. Ohio State, they're having fun, and I would too.
Two very different journeys for these teams as they come here to New Orleans. We're going to get your prediction on this game, as well as our insider Chris Stewart from Alabama and Ohio State insider Beanie Wells. And those two guys will also have a debate. Check it all out on CampusInsiders.com.